Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I know that it's been a few days since I've done a video. I have just been super busy, not just making these earrings that you see here. I have been busy doing that, but I've mentioned before, I don't know if you're new to my channel, you might not have heard me say this, but I have a job that I do from home here, and it's seasonal. There are just certain times of the year that are super busy, and November is one of those times. It's a transcription job. They send me audio files and I transcribe them into a document, and I've had just 4 or 5 transcripts every day to do, and so I haven't had time to do much of anything else. But between transcripts, what little time I have had, I've been trying to make these brick stitch earrings. I've also mentioned before, I'm not really able to set up at craft fairs anymore, but there's one here that I do still set up at locally. It's right here in town, and it's the first Saturday in December every year, and it's fairly easy for me to do. It's just right here. I don't really have to travel, and it's I live in a very small town, and everybody knows me, and I know everybody, and they're always real sweet to me and kind and helpful as far as my mobility problems go, so it's not that hard for me to do. And these little Christmas brick stitch earrings are always hugely popular. I always sell out of these every year, and I didn't have any. I'd sold out of them, all of them last year, so I didn't have any, so I wanted to make some for this craft fair. Of course, I have tons of jewelry to put out. That's not a problem, but these little Christmas earrings, I didn't have any of these, so I wanted to make some. And it takes quite a bit of time to make these brick stitch earrings. To do anything brick stitch takes quite a bit of time. And I thought, well, since I'm having to make them, maybe I could do a video making one. And these on the bottom are not my patterns. They're a pattern. These are patterns that I found years ago. I just did a Google search for brick stitch earring patterns, Christmas brick stitch earring patterns, and I found these. They're by a lady. Her name is Tennille. At least I hope I'm saying that last name right. And her website is brickstitchbeadpatterns.blogspot.com. And she has a ton of brick stitch patterns on there. And I thought that I would like to do one on video, and so I sent her an email and asked her if she would mind, and she sent me back a very kind email and said she would be happy for me to do any of her brick stitch patterns on video, that didn't have a problem with it at all. So I've got this Santa Claus here, and the only thing I do different than she does, I like to outline them with either gold or silver. I've got him outlined with gold, and I've got this snowman here outlined with silver. And she also, I think she puts like a loop of seed beads at the top to connect it to the ear wire, and I use a wire guard. So I think that's pretty much the only difference. These are kind of big. You might not, I mean, I know some people like bigger earrings. If you didn't, you might put one of those Christmas hangers on it and hang it on your Christmas tree as an ornament. And these are, of course, snowmen. And this is a little bearded Santa Claus. This is the one. I've got one of him, and I'm going to do the other one on video here with you all today. I thought it would be the quickest one to do because it's smaller. These at the top here, I think these are my designs. I thought at first when I got to looking at these, it's Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, and I thought I must have found these online or bought a pattern on Etsy or something, but I have looked everywhere and I cannot find them. I did a Google search, I looked on Pinterest, I looked on YouTube, I looked on Etsy, I went through all my order history, and I cannot find these, so I must have graphed these out myself. I mean, there's lots of Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus brick stitch earring patterns out there, but I couldn't find any exactly like this, so I must have done these myself. And I know I did this snowman myself because I just did him yesterday. So, and he turned out a little bit bigger than I meant for him to, but I know that these are mine, and I guess these have to be mine because I can't find them anywhere. So I can do a video on any of these that you want me to do, and I mean, the ones that she has on her website wouldn't be hard. I don't imagine you'd need me to do them because, like I said, her graphs are really clear and easy to follow. If you know how to do brick stitch, it wouldn't be hard to do them at all. As far as these, I would probably have to do a video on these. That's the only way I would know to share these with you, because I I don't have any way of putting them out there any other way to share them with you than to do a video is that I know of, that I know how to do anyway. But I'm going to do this little Santa Claus here, this other little bearded Santa Claus on video today. So I'm going to get these out of the way and get some of my beads ready that I'm going to use, and I'll be back. Okay, I've got some of my beads out here, and I'm going to tell you what the colors are. This red is opaque red, Miyuki. These are all Miyuki 11 Delicas. Opaque red is the color on that. The white ones are opaque white luster. These are opaque gray. I kind of would rather have a lighter color gray for his beard, but I don't. That's the only gray I have. I tried the galvanized silver, but you couldn't really see it against the white, so I'm going to use this opaque gray. I've got the black I'm using is called glossy black, and I'm only got 3 out here because I only need 3. And the pink here is Ceylon dark pink is the color of it, and I've only got 4 of them because I only need 4. And then this color here is called opaque luster pink, and I'm using that for his face, the part that I guess is supposed to look like his skin there, like right above his eyes there. And I think that's all of them. Now I'm going to start, it's easier to start with a longer row. I'm not going to start like right up here at the top where there's 2 beads, because it's too hard to hold on to 2 beads. So I'm going to start here like at the longest part of the red where his little hat is here, and I'm going to go up and put my wire gun on, and then I'm going to go down and finish it. Sew my way back down and go down and finish it. So I'm going to start with this longest row of red here. So I've got 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 red beads that I'm going to do here. And of course I'm going to start out with brick stitch. I'm using a size 11 beading needle, and I've got some 6-pound fire line. I usually use 6-pound fire line when I do peyote or brick stitch because it's such a tightly woven stitch. It doesn't really need the 8-pound fire line, and it's kind of hard to pull the 8-pound fire line through it because these beads are so tight together. I'm using smoke, and I'm using my chain nose pliers to flatten the thread to get my needle through, or my thread through the needle, and I'll be using them to put my ear wire on. I've got an ear wire and a wire guardian here too, and I'll be using the pliers to put that on when I'm done. And of course I've got my scissors to cut my fire line with here. So I'm gonna ladder stitch 9 of these red beads together here. So I've got 2 of my red beads on here. Zoom in here. And I'm going to go up the first one. Well, I think I am. I'm going to go up this first one. That sets those 2 little beads side by side there. Now I'm going to reinforce. I'm going to go back down this. Get some of my stuff out of the way here. I'm going to get my thread caught around all my tools over here. I'll go back down this red one and back up the first red one. This, when you don't have anything to hold on to, it's a little bit difficult, but so now I'm going to go down the second red one that I put on. So that gets 2 of my little red delicas ladder stitched together there. Now I'm going to do another one. Coming out the bottom of this red delica, I'm going to go into the top I know it's hard to see because I've got my finger over it, but I have to hold my finger over it to get it tight enough to get there. So that puts 3 of them together. Now I'm going to go back up this red one, back down the red one in front of it, and back up this red one. Now I was talking about how I outlined these with silver or gold, but I didn't do it on this one because his beard is gray there and it's around the outside, and I thought if I put silver against it you probably couldn't tell it very well, or gold, so I just didn't do it on this one, but I usually do. So now I'm going to do a 4th red one coming up the top of that red one. I'm going to go into the bottom. Then I'm going to go around both these beads again. To reinforce. So that's 4 of my red beads ladder stitched together. Now I'm gonna do the rest of them off camera. I'm gonna have a total of 9 when I'm done. So when I get that done, I'll be back. Okay, I've got my 9 red beads ladder stitched together here, and now I'm gonna go up toward the top, and this is going to be, we're going to be reducing and increasing rows as we do this. So my next row is going to be a reduced row, which means I'm going to go pick up 2. We always pick up 2 beads when we start the next row of brick stitch. So I'm pick up 2 beads, and I'm going to go not under the first thread bridge, but under the second thread bridge. I'm going to pull my thread through. And I'm going to go up the second red bead that I put on. And my beads fell off my needle because I mentioned before, when you do this, let me do this again. Now I'm going to go under the second thread bridge. When you go back up this bead, oftentimes, just like I just did, you think you're going just back up that bead, but you accidentally get back under that thread bridge and your beads fall off, which is what I just did. Happens all the time. I have done a great many, and I did it again. I've done a lot of brick stitch over the years, and it still happens to me. It's nothing to get frustrated about. It just is something that happens, and I just didn't expect it to happen twice in a row there, but it did. So I'm going to try it again here. I'm going to go into the second thread bridge. I'm going to go back up this second red bead that I put on. Okay, they stayed on there that time. Now when we reduce in brick stitch, we have we have to straighten up these first 2 because they're not straight there. So I'm going to go back into this first one. And then down into the one on the diagonal in the row below that to straighten these up. Then I'm going to go up the red one next to it, which will be that third one in that row there. And then I'm going to come back up this red bead here, the second one in the row that I'm working on. Now I'm going to pick up another red bead. It's going to be red all the way across here. So in that first row we did 9. This row is going to have 8, because whenever you reduce, you have one less bead in the next one. And this is the row that I ladder stitched together, and it's got a lot of thread in it, so it's kind of hard to get under that thread bridge. But I'm going to go on to the next thread bridge. Pull my thread through. I'm going to go up this red bead and hope that I don't accidentally go under that thread bridge again. And no, he stayed on there. Now I'm going to do another one here. I'm going to go under the, pick up a red bead, go into the next thread bridge. Now I'm going to show you what I do, and I've showed this before, but it's, if you go, instead of trying to go up like I've been doing, go up the front and go up this bead, if you take your thread around to the back and come back up it from the back, you're less likely to go under that thread bridge and drop your bead. You can still do it, I've done it, but it's less likely to happen if you do that. So now I'm going to do another one. I'm going to go into the next thread bridge. I'm going to take my thread around here to the back and come up my bead. Now I'm going to keep doing that till I finish this row. I'll have 8 when I finish this row, and then I'll come back. Okay, I've got my last bead of my second row done here. Now I'm going to flip it around here, and I'm going to do another row, and this is going to be another row just like that one, except I'll end up with 7 beads on this row. So I'm going to pick up 2 of my red beads. I'm going to go into the second thread bridge. I'm going to come around to the back and go up this second red bead that I just put on. Now I'm going to straighten these up. I know they look pretty straight, but they really need to be straightened up every time you do a reduced row. So I'm going to go down those 2 on the diagonal there. And I'm going to go here to this one next to it, and I'm going to back up that second red bead there. Now I'm going to do another one and pick up a red one. Go into the next thread bridge. My thread through. I'll go around to the back. Go up that bead I just put on, and it'll travel when you do that, but when you pull it down, it'll pull down like it's supposed to there. Now I'm going to do a 4th one. Go into the next thread bridge. Pull my thread through. Take my thread around to the back and go up the bead I just put on. Pull it down into place there. Now I'm going to do 3 more to finish out this row, and then I'll be back. Okay, I got my last row, or my last bead in this row done. Now I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do another row. I'm going to pick up 2 of my red beads. I'm going to go under the second thread bridge. Come around to the back and go up that second bead I just put on. And they'll travel a lot there, but it's nothing to worry about. When you pull them down, they're going to pull down just like they're supposed to. Now I have to straighten this up. So I'm going to go into this red bead and the one on the diagonal in the row underneath. I'm going to go into this bead next to it and up into that second red bead there. Now this row I'm going to continue on. This row will have 6, and then the next row will have 5, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm not going to come back until I get finished the row that has 4 in it. I did 9. The next row was 8. That last row was 7. This row will be 6. Then I'm going to do a row of 5 and then a row of 4. And when I get that done, I'll be back. Okay, so I've got my last row here with the 4 red ones. Now this next row is going to be a red and a white. And I'm going to go under the second thread bridge. I'm going to go around here to the back and go up this white bead. Pull them down there. Now I'm going to go back into this red bead to straighten these up. I'm going to back into this red bead, the red bead on the diagonal there. Go up the red bead next to it and up into the white bead if I can. I can't, so I'm just going to do it one at a time. Now I'm going to do another red bead. Go on to the next thread bridge. Go back up this red one. Take a chance on going through the front, hoping my bead don't fall off. Okay, now this next row we're going to increase, which means I've got 3 here. This next row I'm going to have 4. And when you increase, when you put these first 2 beads in on my next row, it's hard to, it's going to be 2 white beads. And I'm going to go under this first thread bridge. But there's only one little piece of thread holding that last red bead in. So I have discovered that it's easier if I lock this last bead in. So I'm going to go down this white bead and this red bead on the diagonal. And back up these 2 red beads, and that just puts another piece of thread between these 2 beads here, and it's easier, it's less likely that it's going to come loose when I do this first stitch. So I'm going to pick up 2 white beads, go into the first thread bridge, I'm going to straighten my beads up here. Now I'm going to go up and under and go up in this second white bead that I just put on. Now when we increase, we don't have to straighten up those 2. They're straight anyway. So now I'm going to pick up another white bead, go into the next thread bridge, go around to the back here and go up that white bead I just put on. Pick it down, I'll pick up another white bead, and I don't have a thread bridge to go under over here, so I'm going to go back under that same thread bridge. So I'm just going to go up under that same thread bridge, go around to the back here, go up that white bead I just put on, now I'm going to reduce again. See, I've got 4 white beads there now. Now I'm going to reduce, so I'm going to pick up 2 white beads, go under the second thread bridge, go around to the back, go up that bead, second bead I just put on, go into the first bead, and the one down here on the diagonal, go up the bead next to it, and that second white bead I just put on in this row. I'm going to pick up another white bead. I'll go into the next thread bridge. Go around to the back. Go back up that bead I just put on. Now this is my last row before I put my wire guarding on. It's going to have 2 white ones. So I'm going to pick up 2 white beads. Go into the second thread bridge. Go around to the back. Go up that second bead I just put on. I need to straighten these up, so I'm going to go down this bead, the one on the diagonal. Go back up this bead next to it and the second bead that I just put on. Now I'm going to put my wire guarding on. So I'm just going to go up one channel of my wire guardian, go back down the other channel. I'll hold on to the wire guardian so the thread will land in the channel there. I'll go down this second white bead here. Straighten up my wire guardian. It's got twisted there. Well, it wants to stay twisted, it looks like. I'm going to go down a few. I'm going to go down into this next row because that's trying to get loose there. Now I'm going to go over here and go up these 2 and back into my wire guardian. I'm going to go down the other channel of my wire guardian, back down these 2. I'm going to go over here and go up these 2, back into my wire guardian. Okay, I didn't get through my wire guardian. Now I'm going to go back up my wire guardian. Back down the other channel of my wire guardian. I'm going to go down that one and the one on the diagonal. And now I'm going to flip it over here and sew until I'm coming out the edge of my red beads here. So I'm going to go into this white one, go into this red one. I'm going to try to go through all these in one shot. You don't have to, but I'm just going to see if I can. There you go. Now this next row is going to be an increased row, but since this is the row I started out with the ladder stitch, it's got plenty of thread through it, so I don't have to lock in these last 2. So I'm going to start with a red and a white. I'm going to go into this first thread bridge, around to the back here. I'll go this white bead, now I increase so I don't have to straighten up those first 2. So my pattern calls for 2 more white, so I'm going to pick up a white, go into the next thread bridge, go around to the back, go up that white bead I just put on, I'm going to do another white. Go on to the next thread bridge. Go around to the back. Go up the white bead I just put on. Now my pattern calls for 2 more white beads and then 3 more red beads. And when I get on, it's 2 more red beads. I don't know what I just said, but it's 2 more red beads, 3 more white beads, and 1 more red bead. I'm going to do that off camera. Before I do the last red bead, I'll come back and do it with you all. So I'll be back. Okay, for this row, I just need 1 more red bead. And I don't have a thread bridge to go under here, so I'm going to have to go under this same thread bridge that I did this last white one. I'm going to go under that same thread bridge. And then I'm going to come back up this red one that I just put on. Now this next row calls for me to increase, and it's gonna be white all the way across. So I'm pick up 2 white. Now if I don't lock this first one in like I showed you before, and I try to go under this thread bridge, see that red one's gonna pull loose there. So that's why I lock it in before I do it. So I'm going to take these off. I just wanted to show you the reason why I was doing that. So I'm going to take these 2 white ones off. Tighten this back down. Now I'm going to go down this white one and the red one on the diagonal. I'll go up these 2 red ones here. That's going to lock that in better now. Now I'm going to pick up my 2 white ones. I'm going to go onto the first thread bridge. See, it's not going to pull loose now. I'm going to straighten my beads up with their holes facing up. I'll go around to the back here and go up that second white one. Like I said before, it'll travel, but it's not to worry about. When you tighten it down, it'll land like it's supposed to there. Now I'm going to do white all the way across until I get to the end. I'll have 11 white beads in total, but I'm going to stop after the 10th one and I'll do the last one with you. I'll come back, so I'll be back. Okay, I only have 1 more white one to put in here. I don't have a thread bridge to go under, so I'm going to have to use this same thread bridge that I used for this last white one. Oh, I picked up 2. Sometimes these beads just jump on my needle. Okay. I'm going to go under this same thread bridge that I went under for this last one. I'm going to go up that one I just put on. Now this next row is a reduced row, so I don't have to lock anything in. So I'm going to pick up 2 white. We'll go on to the second thread bridge. Go around to the back. Go up my second white bead. I'm going to straighten these up. I'm going to go down this one, into the one on the diagonal, up this one, and up that second one. Now, if I keep doing it the way I've been doing it, this video is going to end up to be like 2 hours long. So I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do from now on and do it, and then I'll come back. So the next, I need 2 more gray, 2 more white, 2 more gray, and then 2 more white. So my next two will be gray, of course, one at a time. You can't do them, you only do that first row, the first stitch with two. So I'm going to pick up one gray, go on to the next thread bridge, go around to the back, go up the gray bead, now I've got two white, I'm going to have two more gray, two white, two gray, and two more white. So when I get that done, I'll be back. Okay, I've got this row done. Two white, two gray, two white, two gray, and two white. And I went ahead and sewed my stop bead in while I was gone. Now I'm going to flip it around to do my next row. Now this is going to be an increase, so I'm going to lock these two in first before I do my first stitch. So I'm going to go down these two white ones, back up these two white ones. Now I need to do a red, and this color I'm using for his, what I think is his skin, I think it was light pink or something. Opaque luster pink is what the color is on it. So I'm going to go into the first thread bridge, straighten my beads up so their holes are facing up. I'm going to go around to the back and go up this, looks like a peach colored one to me. I'm going to go up it. Now I increase so I don't have to straighten those first ones up. So I'm going to do 8 more of my peach colored ones and another red one. So I'll end up with 9 peach colored ones and 2 red ones, one on each end. When I get that done, I'll be back. Okay, I've got this row done. Now my next row is going to be reducing, so I don't need to lock my first row in, but I need a gray one and a peach colored one, or a skin colored one. I'm going to the second thread bridge, go around to the back, go up my peach colored bead. I'm going to call them peach colored beads. And I'm going to go down this gray one to straighten these up, and the peach colored one on the diagonal. Go over here into this one, go up that second peach one that I just put on. Now I'm going to do another peach colored one, go into the next thread bridge, go around to the back, back up the bead I just put on, now I need to do 2 gray ones. These are going to be his, no, I need to do a black one. I need to do his eye next. This is eye, so go into that one. Go back up the black one I just put on. Now I'm going to do 2 peach colored ones. One to the next thread bridge. Go to the round of the back. Go up the one I just put on. Do another peach colored one. To the next thread bridge. Go around to the back. The one I just put on. Now I need another black one for his other eye. On to the next thread bridge. Around to the back. The one I just put on. Now I'm going to do 2 more peach ones and a gray one, and then I'll be back. Okay, I've got this row done. Now my next row is going to be increasing, and I already went ahead and locked in my stitch here at the end, at the beginning, so that I don't have to do that every time, because I'm afraid this video is going to be terribly long. So now I need to get do a gray one and a white one. And I'm going to go under that first thread bridge. Straighten my beads up there. Make them lay with their holes up like they're supposed to. I'm going to go up this, try to straighten them up once I get up this white one. I need to go up the bottom of this white one here. And there they go. They straightened up now. Now I need to do a pink one for his little cheeks. Go around to the back, go up the pink one. And do another pink one. Around to the back. That one traveled a lot, but it come back down there. Now I need to do a peach colored one. Go around to the back. Now I need another black one for his nose. Under the next thread bridge. Back up the black one. Now I'm going to put the same thing on the other side of his nose that I've got on this side. I'm going to do a peach one, two pink ones, a white one, and a gray one, and then I'll be back. Okay, now we're down into his beard. So for my next row, I need a gray one and a white one. And I'm going to be decreasing, so I'm going to go into the second thread bridge. Go around and go up this white one. Straighten up these two by going into this gray one. The white one on the diagonal there. Go over here and go up this pink one and this white one. Now my pattern for this row is going to be, I'm going to do another gray, another white. I just might as well, I'm going to have to do it to, it'd be too confusing if I don't. So I'm going to do a gray. And then a white. Now I'm going to do two gray. And now I'm going to mirror this side, so I'm going to do another white, another gray, another white, another gray, and then I'll be back. Okay, this row is going to be an increase row, so I'm going to do a gray and a white. Go into the first thread bridge. Straighten my beads up. Go up that white bead. I'm doing another gray bead. Going to the next thread bridge. Go back up the gray bead. Do another white bead on the next thread bridge, back up the white bead, I'm going to do another gray bead, go to the next thread bridge, around the back, go up to the gray bead, now I'm going to do a red bead for his mouth, go to the next thread bridge, back up the red bead, now I'm going to mirror the same thing on this side as this side. I'm going to do gray, white, gray, white, gray. And then when I get that done, I'll be back. Okay, now this next row is going to be another increase. So I'm going to do gray, white, go to the first thread bridge, go around and go up the white bead, I'm going to do a gray bead, white, gray, two white, now this other side's going to mirror this side, so I'm going to do gray, white, gray, white, gray, and then I'll be back. Okay, this next row is going to be, I'm going to decrease, and I'm going to have gray, white, I'm going to be alternating between gray and white all the way across. So I'll have I'll have 6 gray and 5 white. I'll start with a gray and I'll end with a gray. So I'll have gray, white, and I'll just keep doing that until I have 6 gray and 5 white, and then I'll be back. Okay, now this next row I'm going to be increasing, and it's going to be just like, not the row I just did, but the one above that. So it's going to be gray, white, gray, 2 white, gray, white, gray. So when I get that done, I'll be back. Okay, now this next row is going to be a reduced row, and it's going to be not like the row I just did, but the one above it. So it's going to be alternating between gray and white all the way across until I have 6 gray and 5 white, starting with the gray. So when I get that done, I'll be back. Okay, now my next row I'm going to be decreasing again. It's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be gray, 2 white, gray, 2 white, gray, 2 white, gray. So it'll be 4 grays. I'm going to start with a gray and end with a gray, with 2 whites between each of the gray beads. And I know that might be confusing, but I'm afraid to do it on camera because I'm afraid this is going to be terribly long. So gray, 4 gray with 2 whites in between each of the grays. So when I get that done, I'll be back. Okay, so that's that row. Gray, 2 white, gray, 2 white, gray, 2 white, gray. Now this row I'm going to decrease, but I'm going to have to decrease a little bit more than I have been. I'm going to go into this one, up into this one, and now I'm going to do 2 white, and I'm going to go into the first thread bridge past the bead that I'm coming out there. Straighten my beads up, come around here and go up the second white bead. Because I went up that very first thread bridge after the one I was coming out of, I don't have to straighten up. Now I'm doing a gray. A white. A gray. And two more white. Okay, now I'm going to reduce again here. I'm going to do a white and a gray. Going to the second thread bridge. Back up the gray. Straighten these two up. Now I'm going to do two white. Gray. And a white. Now this next row, I'm going to be decreasing again. I'm going to do a gray, white, going to the second thread bridge, back up the white, straighten these two up. I'm going to do two more white. And a gray. This next row is going to be my last row, and I'm going to have to sew into this one, sew up into this one, and I'm going to do 2 gray, and to center these between these 5, I'm going to have to go into the thread bridge right after the one I'm coming out of, that first thread bridge. Straighten them up there. Go up this second one. And the pattern, her pattern calls for 1 more between these 2, but I didn't do that on this other. I stopped at this row here. So I'm done now. I'm going to take my thread and sew it back up through here and crisscross until, like I do with brick stitch and peyote, I don't do half-inch knots. I just crisscross my thread and cut it off, and then I'll put my ear wire on, and when I come back we'll look at what I've got, and I'll bring all these others out here. So I'll be back. Okay, there's all my earrings. Here's the ones we finished today, and then there's all the others. I hate that this video took so long, but there's just really not a fast way to do brick stitch. Like I said, I can do videos on any of these others if you want me to. You probably don't, since this one took so long, but if you do, just let me know. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, hope y'all have a great day. Take care.